Dí Gwich. Smisha Lora O'Brien, and you're very welcome to Morrigan, getting started with some good quality resources. So like I said, I am Lora O'Brien, Smisha Lora O'Brien, and there's a lot of things I could call myself, and there's probably a lot of things that other people could call me, but I pretty much just go by the title of Draoi, which is more a description than a title that I'm taking on for myself. So it's a practitioner of Indigenous Irish magic and spirituality. And as you might be able to tell from my accent, I am Irish myself, born and bred, and I have lived and worked here my entire life. So that's where I'm coming from. If you do want to learn more about me, you can find that at my website on www.loraobrien.ie. But moving on, we will get to your resources. So just really quickly, who is the Mórrígan? So the Morrigan is an Irish deity. She generally appears as female in our texts and our lore, but she's also a shapeshifter. So her physical form is fluid, shall we say? And I would regularly refer to her as gender irrelevant, because that has been my experience of her. So she is one of the Tuatha Dé Danann, who were the tribe of Danu, or the tribe of gods in Ireland. And she may or may not have been here before them, but that's a whole other video. And one of the things we do know is that she has been helping them and aiding them through the battles and all the rest of it in the stories. So we definitely have her connected to the Tuatha Dé Danann, at least once they arrive here. Her name can be translated variously. That first part is Mór, which is M-O-F-A-L-A-R or M-O-R. And the father there is important because it changes the translation of the word between Great Queen and Phantom Queen. And Mórrígan is modern Irish, Mórrígan. And my pronunciation that you're going to get through this video and my other videos is modern Irish pronunciation. So I don't speak Old Irish. I'm not entirely fluent in modern Irish, but I have grown up speaking it. So that's the pronunciation you'll get. It's kind of a cross between Munster and Connacht Irish for anybody who's interested in the dialect. It is pretty much the standard kind of school education system Irish language pronunciation. So personally, I do tend to favour the Great Queen translation, personally, as I said, because that is my experience with her. That is how she has introduced herself to me through the years. I've been a priest of the Morrigan for a very, very long time now. So the resources that we are going to look at include free and paid samples, and there is enough here to really get you going and really get a quality foundation in beginning to learn about the Morrigan. So on my blog, you can go to my website and then just search Morrigan, or I've just included the link here. And I will have, this video is going to be part of a free mini training course on my website. So I'll put links at the end, and you'll be able to download the video or watch the video, download the PDF, which will have all the links in it as well. So don't worry about trying to scribble them out off the screen or anything. You can just go and download the PDF, and there will also be a pronunciation guide video included in that free training. So it's worth going and signing up for it if you are interested in taking this a little bit further, all for free. So speaking of free, I also run the Morrigan's Cave group on Facebook, and it's quite tightly moderated group in that we don't allow any kind of the usual fluff or nonsense. So you will get connection, questions and scholarship, and some of the top people connected to the Morrigan are in that group, and I'm very, very pleased to call some of them my friends and my colleagues. So you'll find that if you search on Facebook for the Morrigan's Cave group, or you can just, again, download the PDF in your free mini course and you will get the link through that. There is, academics-wise, there is quite a heavy dissertation called War Goddess, the Morrigan and her Germano-Celtic counterparts by Angelique Golomovich Epstein. Apologies if I'm pronouncing that right. German pronunciation is not my forte. So we will come back to that in a little while, but there's copies of that floating around the web, and if you can get your hands on it, it is definitely worth going through. Book-wise, there are a couple of books on the Morrigan, but there's actually only two that I really can stand over, to be honest. The scholarship is sound in them, and the personal practices are respectful of the native traditions, very much so. So the first one would be a smallish book that is The Morrigan, Meeting the Great Queens by Morgan Daimler. And that is one of the Pagan Portal series. So it's a nice, easy, digestible wee book. And it's published by Moon Books. And anything really by Daimler is definitely worth looking at. And Daimler was a priestess of Macha for quite a long time before the Irish fairies, stake their claim. So anyway, that's a whole other story as well. The other book then is a much heavier and weightier one, and definitely worth getting your hands on. The Book of the Great Queens by Morpheus Ravenna. That's published by Concrescent Press. And again, we'll come back to this in a little while because Morpheus is actually running classes that go through chapter by chapter. So I'll come back to those shortly. This book is fantastic research-wise. There's just so much in there, and it's if you're in any way interested in the Morrigan, then you need to have this book on your shelves. So the image just at the start of this resources section was the Oinigat Heritage Guide. So the Cave of Cruachan is called Uv Nagach, which is anglicised into Oinigat. And this is her fit abode. This is the site in Ireland that is primarily connected to the Morrigans. So it's definitely worth having. Something like £5 or £6, I think, and you can buy it there in the rathcrohan.ie gift shop. So definitely worth picking up. There's some really nice imagery in there, and just your basic kind of archaeological and heritage information about that site. So it's really important to have as a resource if you can get your hands on it. So online learning is really popular, as we all know. And there's just a couple of resources, again, free and paid. So you can get started if you want to take things a little bit further than just, reading a book. So to go back to the original lore, the source lore from manuscripts, we have Mary Jones has put together this Jones's Celtic Encyclopedia. And it is a collection of translations of the texts. So there's a couple of other sites. I do another couple of videos on lore and that. You can check them out on my YouTube channel. And like and subscribe and share and do all those wonderful things. If you're watching this on YouTube, or if you pop over to my YouTube channel, please do subscribe, because there's a load of really, well, I think they're good, and other people seem to like them, authentic Irish resources. So if you're interested in Ireland at all, you're going to get a lot out of that. But anyway, there are quite a few academic sources, but you can go to Mary Jones and just kind of stick to that and find your feet there if you're new to it. Then that War Goddess dissertation that I mentioned, I've started a podcast, and it's called Your Irish Connection Podcast with Lora O'Brien, and there's a link there, but you can actually search for it in any of your usual podcast players. It's on Spotify and Stitcher and iTunes and Pocket Casts and all the usual ones. So just put in Your Irish Connection and there's an image of a crow, I think, on it. So you'll be able to find it there. And that is me just doing a reading of the War Goddess dissertation, because quite a few of my students, I run online classes and courses on the Morrigan, and quite a few of my students would have, they'd be maybe differently abled or have difficulties in going through the dissertation. And it really is such a core text and such a core piece of learning and knowledge that I'm trying to put it into audio format so that it's more easily digestible. So I'm working my way through it slowly but surely. So it may or may not be entirely up there when you go and visit, but do subscribe to the podcast and you get the rest of it as and when it comes out. So I mentioned earlier, Morpheus Ravenna is doing the Book of the Great Queen chapter by chapter. There's a class on each one, and it's really, really good. I'm taking it myself. It's really fascinating because she goes through not just what's in the book, but the whole topic around that chapter. So definitely worth getting over on her website there on bansheearts.com. And I will mention, I mentioned my students there. I do run a 6-month intensive application. I'm even a little bit hesitant about mentioning it. Intensive program. It is by application only, and you will find the current application form on Meeting the Morrigan. It only runs once a year for 6 months, and there's a lot to it. So anyway, if you're interested in it, go and have a look at the webpage and apply if you want to. But I will say, I actually take on very few students for this because it's a program of work, and I have to make sure that everybody who is in there is the right fit for the group and the community, and that the program is a right fit for them as well. So, because not everybody's ready for that. So so that's that. Do go and have a look if you are interested. But just for beginners, I run a couple of classes on the Morrigan, and you'll find them on my online Irish pagan school at loraobrien.teachable.com, or just from my main website. You can click on Take a Class and it will put you straight through to the school section of the website. So go and check out the classes. There is an introduction to the Morrigan. There's Shapes of the Morrigan. There is the Cave of the Morrigan that we just mentioned there. And yeah, there's a couple of other bits and pieces in there, and there's a little bundle you can get as well if you wanted to take those 3 classes. You can take them for a slightly reduced price together. So just thought I'd mention that as well. So Gura Magat, and like I said, everything that, well, most things, all of my resources that I mentioned are on my own website there at loraobrien.ie. You can find me on Facebook, and my author page is there. And again, do go and join if you do nothing else, go and join the Morrigan community group on Facebook. But you can also go to the school that I mentioned at teachable.com, and you can take this video as part, as I said, of a free mini training. So if you want to get the PDF slides, the download of the slides with all the links in them, and another video on pronunciation, and a copy of this video that you can just rewatch anytime you want, please do go and sign up for the free mini training. I'll put a link down below and in the comments, and please do like and subscribe as well. So slán go fóill, and I hope to see you around the Morrigan community.